Hi guys, back again, just with another video. I've been requested quite a lot to do a video on my setup slash gaming room. So in today's video I'll show all the equipment that I use, computers, wheel and so on. So all questions that I've had in comments and so on should be answered in this video from a setup point of view. So enjoy. Right then. So this is my room, which is dedicated to gaming. So in the room, as you can see, I run two setups on the right hand side, which are both made from wood. One obviously is for flying and one is for racing, farming, so on. The one on the right, which you can see here, is a new setup. I used to run 3 screens. I've now gone to one. Well, obviously 2 screens, but one screen per setup. So the reason was because I got into flying and it was too much hassle to swap the two over all the time. So I built this rig, as you can see, which is just dedicated to flying. It's not an expensive throttle. I've got a throttle and a joystick here with a keyboard which is mounted, so it's just easy access. And then I'll move these headphones, and then obviously a setup just works like this, where you can just lift up and put it back down to get in and out. So it's very basic, as I say, wood rig, cheap car seat, TV, and then the cheaper flight controls. So, and then over this side, got a computer in the middle, which is an i5 6600K. I think it's an Asus motherboard. The full specs will be in the description, but it's an Asus motherboard, liquid cooled, 2980s, I think 16 gig of DDR4 RAM and 2 terabyte hard drive, and I think it's got an SSD in. Yes, it has. It's got a 250 gig SSD. So that powers both of these setups, as you can see there. So it's a 40 inch on the right hand side, Samsung TV, and a Bosch 50 inch, both 60 Hz, both 1080p. Basic on that sort of front, not high resolution. So obviously this one's the driving simulator, which most of you have seen me use on the farm simulator videos that I'm doing at the moment. So I've got a T500 wheelbase, as you can see, which I put a custom Sparco quick release on, which you can see. So it's still got the original Thrustmaster adapter in the middle as well. Just makes it easier to swap and change. So it's a standard T500 wheelbase. It's got an SLI display on, which you can see, just for racing. That's what I started doing most of the time. Then over at the control side, I've got a TH8 shifter with a custom gear knob on. I've got a sequential shifter, homemade, with the help of me dad. So that's obviously, this is up a gear, that's down a gear. I've got my custom handbrake on the side as well, just made from odds and ends. Over here we've got the button box which I made, which is just a plate of aluminium, buttons, control board, USB. If you've got any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me in more detail. I don't know how much detail to go into. So obviously just buttons from eBay, I say a control board, I think Derek Spears, I think it is, a USB cable, and as I say, then I wrapped the aluminium just so it wasn't plain. Again, I'm running the Thrustmaster pedals at the moment because I'm also running Fanatec pedals, Fanatec V1s, which I use for racing, but the Thrustmaster ones will only work on some games, and so I've got them on at the moment for what I'm playing. Farm Sim 15 I can't run the Fanatec pedals on, but the 17 I can. But I've been playing 15 with one of my friends, so got the racing seat again. It's a Cobra, it's a game pod seat, but it's actually a Cobra Monaco seat, as you can see. I run the harnesses on there as well. Harnesses are run because, unfortunately, not going into detail, but I suffer from seizures. So the harnesses just stop me from hitting my face off the wheel. And that's basically the main issue I have. So I've got this rig which I've just built, which hasn't got the harnesses on, which I'm waiting for to come. I've only had this rig built for about a week, 2 weeks, something like that. So I'm waiting for the harnesses for that one. So that's why I use the harnesses, so it keeps me safe while I'm in my game. So some people laugh and joke, but I actually use them because it does help me. So yeah, that's the racing setup on that front. I use for farming, which people will be interested. It's quite a cheap joystick. It's a Speedlink. As I say, it's got numerous buttons. There's, you know, all these here are extra buttons, and then you've got an 8-way hatch, and you know, I think 2 or 3 buttons on the actual stick as well. It's enough for Farming Simulator. It completely does me absolutely fine. With 5.1 surround sound between the two setups as well. As you can see, it's quite hard to get everything in. I've got some photos of racing above it, the setup as well. So the other part of the room, it's quite big, is my desk setup, which is not working at the moment. I'm waiting on a power supply, which I had problems. My other power supply failed, so I'm just waiting for another one. So again, computer spec, I think it's an old AMD 60, what is it? I think it's a I can't think what it is, 6400 or something. I'll put the specs in the description. So it's an AMD processor with the GTX 970 in cheap Asus board. It was my first computer, and then when I built my new one, I just thought I'll put that over on the desk, and that gives me somewhere, if I do get into YouTube videos and so on, I can sit and, you know, edit videos and things like that. So I run a 32-inch screen on here, Element gaming keyboard, and I know the actual make of this mouse. It's a gaming mouse from Amazon, you know. So and then again another seat which I used to use for racing, and then I wasn't using it, so I found some old office chair wheels and, you know, screwed them onto the base of the chair, you know, to make a cheapish office chair. I have my CCTV set up on the left. I'm going to wall mount it or do something nice with it in the future, but at the moment, you know, it keeps the house safe and whatnot. So again, I've got pictures and signs up in the windows, you know, racing pictures, as you can see here. A couple of models on here. Tripod set up there with my webcam on, which I've been using for videoing. And then over in this corner, I've just got this unit in. Obviously it was used to keep animals in and whatnot. It was never actually used, so I got it cheap, and I'm going to turn it into a display cabinet in the future. Just not got around to it. Drinks fridge, you know, just saves you having to go out the room. Lazy, but got the fridge cheap. So again, and then the back wall, I keep all my wheels on, tons of photos, and you know, the room's dedicated just for me, so I can put in whatever I like. Got all my wheels here, mounted on the wall, so you can just get up and grab them, you know, dead easy. And then in the unit, which I haven't, this isn't going to be like this, it's going to get painted and more shells put in, but there's my other pedals I game with, which are Fanatec V1s. And then the wheel on the right is just an OMP knockoff wheel, and again another Spark Horse Raid wheel on the left. So all in all, I mean, it looks a lot of stuff, but it's just you collect it over the years. So I mean, if there's anything I've missed, you know, or you know you want me to go into more detail, more than happy to. As I say, I don't know how much detail to go into. There isn't an awful lot of things when you start breaking them down. You know, it looks a lot, but as I say, with the racing setup, most people wanted it. As I say, it's mainly made from wood, and then just a few bits I've made over the years, gear sticks, you know, handbrakes and whatnot. And yeah, there's not a lot to it. But if you've got any questions at all, just comment in the comment section. I'll do a better video in the future when the desk computer's working, you know. So the whole point of having the 3 setups is I'll be able to do a racing video or farming video in the morning, and then if I wanted to, I can come over and do a video in the flight sim cockpit. Dead easy, jump straight out, jump straight in, no swapping over, no changing. And then if I want to do any Battlefield, you know, anything like that on the channel, I've got my desk set up as well. So that's the point of having both setups. But you know, it's a lot of stuff. I don't do anything else. With me not being very well, I don't go out much, I don't do much like that, so it's just somewhere I can come and spend a bit of time, you know, feel normal and just enjoy myself. So hopefully you guys can enjoy watching, you know. So please like, subscribe, you know, if you enjoy the content. If you don't, leave me a message why you don't like it, what, you know, what I could possibly change, what I could do better. You know, I'm only just starting out, so any advice is good advice. So thanks again, thanks for watching, and you know, hopefully enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, goodbye.